Caitlin, could you tell us a little bit about your eye, the hit, if it affected you, how it affected you, and through the rest of the game? Thanks.
Yeah, obviously got me pretty good in the eye. I don't think it affected me. Honestly, I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down. And
Caitlin Clark fans, hold on to your seats because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. New footage has surfaced, and it's not just shocking. It's downright jaw-dropping. Dijonai Carrington didn't just come to play. She came with intentions. And let's just say they weren't exactly friendly. Picture this. The game has barely started, and boom, Clark gets hit right in the eye. It's like something straight out of a movie, except instead of special effects, we've got basketball chaos. But before we break this down, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Trust me, you won't want to. Now back to the action. Clark, the three-point queen, the player who can drain buckets with her eyes closed, literally, was suddenly seeing double, triple, maybe even quadruple. Her vision was off, and so was her game. A player known for making defenders look like they're stuck in slow motion, Clark suddenly looked like she was stuck in actual slow motion.
Talk about what the Sun did defensively so well.
Well, we talk about basketball being a game of chess, and especially...
She finished with just 11 points. Yes, you read that right. And at one point, it felt like she couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. What was happening? Caitlin Clark's playoff debut was meant to be a moment of brilliance, a game where she would dominate and lead her team to victory. But what should have been a defining game quickly turned into a nightmare, leaving fans stunned and analysts scratching their heads. Clark, known for her lethal three-point shooting and slick passing, suddenly found herself out of sync after taking a hard hit from Dijonai Carrington of the Connecticut Sun.
Hey, Monica, let's get to the fever at the Sun here. Caitlin Clark, of course, making her playoff debut against a tough first-round opponent here. Brian Rucco was on this show saying that maybe she didn't think necessarily it would catch Caitlin Clark by surprise, the level of physicality.
Instead of leading the Indiana Fever, Clark spent much of the game struggling. And it wasn't just her performance that took a hit, the entire team felt the impact. The game started as expected, with Clark poised to take charge. She's one of the most dangerous scorers in the league, regularly knocking down three-pointers and threading needle-sharp passes to her teammates. But just minutes into the first quarter, everything shifted. Carrington landed a hard blow to Clark's eye, and suddenly the Fever's star was off her game, both physically and mentally. What should have been a spectacular debut quickly became an uphill battle for Clark and her team. Clark, typically a player who makes the game look effortless, finished with just 11 points, well below her regular season average of nearly 20 points. Her shooting was uncharacteristically poor, making only 4 of her 17 attempts for a dismal 23.5%. This wasn't the Clark that fans were used to seeing. Her vision was clearly impaired, and it affected every part of her game. Passes that would normally find their mark were landing in the hands of the opposing team. Even her renowned playmaking seemed off, contributing to the Fever's overall struggles. It wasn't just Clark who felt the effects. The entire Fever squad had to adjust on the fly. Head coach Christy Sides, who had likely planned the game around Clark's leadership on the court, was forced to rethink everything. With their star players struggling, the Fever appeared disjointed and out of rhythm. By the time the final buzzer sounded, it wasn't just the loss that hurt. It was the sense that the team hadn't been able to perform at their full potential. Now the focus has shifted to what the WNBA will do about Carrington's hit.
When you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually.
Fans and analysts alike are questioning whether there will be consequences for what some are calling an overly aggressive play. Will the league step in with a fine or suspension? Comparisons are being drawn to past incidents, and many are wondering if this could set a dangerous precedent if left unpunished. Physical play is a part of basketball, but at what point does it cross the line? Another concern is how officiating will be handled in future games. Some are speculating that referees will be quicker to call fouls on any contact involving Clark, especially after the hit. Tighter officiating could change the dynamic of the series, potentially benefiting the Fever as they attempt to bounce back. Will officials be more cautious, or will they let the game play out with minimal interference? The bigger question, of course, is about Clark's recovery. Will she be back to full strength in the next game? Fans are eager to see her return and lead the Fever in what could be a dramatic turnaround.
That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
Everyone is wondering if Clark will come back stronger, ready to dominate as she has all season, or if her vision will continue to be an issue. If she isn't fully recovered, coach sides will have to rely heavily on players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston to step up and carry more of the offensive load. These two will need to elevate their play if the Fever have any hopes of staying alive in the playoffs. This incident has also raised concerns about the future of the WNBA. Clark isn't just a rising talent, she's a key figure in the league's growing popularity. With her arrival, the WNBA has seen more attention, from packed arenas to increased TV ratings and social media buzz. However, the question now is whether players like Clark are being targeted for more physical, aggressive play. If the league doesn't take action to protect its stars, it could set a precedent where young talents are at greater risk for injury due to unnecessary roughness on the court. The WNBA finds itself at a crossroads.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. We've seen the animus directed at Caitlin Clark all year.
On one hand, the league has an opportunity to capitalize on the excitement and momentum that players like Clark have brought to the game. On the other, if they allow physical play to escalate without stepping in, they run the risk of sidelining their brightest stars. This could lead to a fundamental shift in how the game is played, moving towards a more physical, defense-heavy style that could stifle the offensive brilliance that makes players like Clark so exciting to watch. For Caitlin Clark, the next game is about more than just bouncing back. It's a chance to prove her resilience and show that she can overcome adversity, no matter how tough the situation. The pressure is on, not just for her, but for the entire Fever team, as they look to recover and stay in the fight. How Clark handles this challenge will be closely watched, as will the league's response to the incident. The way the WNBA addresses this moment will have long-term implications for the league. Will it become a place that protects its stars, allowing them to shine without fear of excessive physicality? Or will it let rougher play dictate the future of the game? The decisions made in the coming days will shape the course of women's basketball for years to come. One thing is for certain, this is far from over. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever still have plenty of fight left in them, and the next game could be a defining moment for both the team and the league. Stay tuned, because what happens next will not only determine the outcome of this playoff series, but could influence the direction of the WNBA for seasons to come. Wow, what a wild turn of events. Caitlin Clark's playoff debut didn't just take a left turn, it took a full U-turn and crashed into a brick wall. Dijonai Carrington's "Welcome to the Playoffs" hit has left fans in shock, and let's be honest, we're all wondering what the WNBA is going to do about it. Was it intentional? Was it just one of those things that happens in sports? One thing's for sure, this isn't the kind of debut Clark or her fans were expecting. And let's talk about Clark's next move. Will she come back and make defenders wish they'd called in sick? Or will the Fever need to lean on their other stars like Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston to save the day? Either way, this series just got a lot more interesting. And you better believe the next game is going to be packed with drama, action, and hopefully fewer accidental eye pokes. But hey, enough about what we think. We want to hear from you. Was that hit on Clark a dirty play or just playoff intensity? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and let's get the conversation going. And don't forget, if you want to stay in the loop on all things Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. We've got a lot more coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.